at Hart's Corner.
It ended up to be her brother-in-law,
Gerhard Fritzler, and Bob Jesser and him.
We were sitting there at a booth and we celebrated my 25th birthday.
The old man already.
So we was having a party, and these three gals walked in. They had no place to sit, so we just got up and told them to sit with us. But I got a smooch that night before she went home.
I don't remember that. And the thing that he had to go, what Henrietta always said, he went, when he was dating, he didn't know that Eileen and I apart.
No, I didn't, because I was never sober until I got married. And I said, when they started dating your mother, and you didn't know they liked the old Dutchman, I mean, them old people, when you come pick up, you had to come in the house, and you sat down and had dinner. Supper with them, dinner, whatever you want to call it. And your grandma always say, well, just like a lost puppy, you feed him once, he never leave.
How did you propose?
I can't remember who proposed to who.
Well, he just gave me, he come and picked me up on a Sunday. And he said, look in the glove department.
Yeah.
And there was a set of rings. Cool. And that's, we knew we were
She
ready.
fell in love, got married. Do it the fast way. No, that was another relation.
We went, let's see, he picked us up at 7
Didn't
in the
Colorado
morning.
have a waiting period or something?
Yeah, it was 3 days, and you had to have all this blood work and everything. And he didn't want to do that, so we went to Raton, New Mexico.
We left on a Saturday morning.
Morning at 7 and came back Saturday
We was
night.
back at Raton, we was back in Windsor. We rented that apartment about with the old gamblers.
Yeah.
And we come back that evening, we was back by 10 o'clock that evening.
Then you got married?
Yeah, we got married, and then Sandy came along, and she was so little, she stuck her head through the rails of the baby bed. And she cried and cried, and I went out and tried to pick her up, and I said, you better help me. She got her head through the rail.
And then later on, when she grew up a little bit more, she's scared of the boogeyman.
Dad bought me a cap gun, and I kept this cap gun under my pillow in case the peeping Tom, you know, I could just shoot him.
And had to have it loaded too.
Yep.
She tested before she went to bed, make sure it shot.
Yep. Well, and then I had him.
But one of our biggest days in the world when you come along.
Yeah. When Randy came home, it was, you guys had gotten everything ready, the crib, we had a bassinet for Randy, and it was a big deal.
Mom always says I was always carrying around an extension cord when I was little instead of a blanket. And
then the Electrolux vacuum.
Now, Jim is a little different story. I got him home in a hurry when the pheasant hunting.
Why'd you go pheasant hunting so fast?
It was pheasant season.
And I wanted a little sister.
She was.
You lived in town for a while.
Lived in town.
And then we farmed for Henry Bruner.
You got to start farming.
And we were, I don't know how you'd call it. How did you get started?
I worked on farm percentage deal.
Like a sharecrop kind
40-60
of
deal. And after the first year, then I bought my own equipment.
Very, very good life. I think that farming is the best place to raise
I
children.
raised the kids, and they was all good kids.
A big old lake on the farm, and used to go back there and pick asparagus. And we didn't really swim in it a lot or anything, learned how to fish.
We worked hard when we had to, but there was a lot of fun to it too. The three-wheeler, the mini bikes, the horses.
Baby calves,
We had some cats.
chicken, sheep.
And all your friends and stuff all live in the city, and you know what little they had to do. It's like, oh, they got to sleep till 1 o'clock on Saturdays and stuff, and we were always up early.
Ducks, geese.
Mom and Dad were good about the chores. We didn't have to do it in the morning before we went to school.
Always had to gather the eggs and feed chickens.
And I asked Mom about that one time, and she's like, because I don't want you guys smelling like the farm when you go to school.
My big garden.
She said, when I was growing up, we always had to milk the cows, feed the chickens, and everything else, and we always smelled like the dairy when we went to school.
All the tomatoes.
And one time we had chickens at Grandma's house, and the chicken coop caught on fire.
Mom made tomato sauce, tomato
And I was all upset because my little chickens fried in there.
ketchup.
When it was plowing season, Dad would run the tractor during the day, and James and I would come home from school and we'd take over for Dad for a few hours so he could go eat dinner, especially if we're behind because the ground was frozen.
You just see so much. You learn how to drive early. You're driving before everybody else.
I think 8 years old, you're learning to drive the truck and stuff and learning how to drive a stick shift.
I almost ran it in the pump house.
Yeah.
What? Dad remembers that.